to the Payroll Powerlist by Neeyamo, the podcast where we spotlight the people, idea, and innovation shaping the future of payroll. I'm your host, Nancy, and in every conversation, I sit down with global leaders, change makers, and payroll visionaries to uncover lessons in leadership, transformation, and impact. Whether you're in the payroll trenches or leading from the boardroom, this is where the world's payroll conversations come to life. Today, we are joined by Anne-Celine, Head of People Services at Opella. Anne, it's a pleasure to have you here. Hope you're doing great today.
Hi, Nancy. Yes, very well. I'm with you, and I'm super happy to be able to participate in that podcast. Thank you for inviting me.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's quickly kickstart with our podcast. Let's begin with what major shifts over the last couple of years transformed payroll from a more transactional cycle into a core enabler of workforce strategy.
I think what makes payroll really interesting is exactly as you said, we started as basic accountants where we were just there to collect the working time of people and to calculate taxes and contribution so we can really give the salary to employees. And now what is very important, and what I see at least at Opella, as well as in my previous employer, as well as on the market, is that we are more and more a partner to really use all the components that we can use to increase the compensation, to increase the employee experience. And now payroll is part of the strategy from HR, or what we call also in Opella, people and culture, to attract talent and to retain talent. So it's not only a question of figures on the paper, it's more about how can we make the experience of an employee, financial or non-financial component, more exciting? So when they join us, they have a real full experience, end-to-end experience. And on top of that, on the other side of the paper, if I may say, we also give some additional data to the business, to the decision maker, so they have real clear and transparent visibility on how we spend the money on what we call the personal cost. To make sure that when they take decision to maybe build a manufacturing site in one country or to hire temporary employees in another one, or if they want to improve the retention of some talent, they have all the data they need from payroll in order to take those decisions. So really we've switched from just admin, pure transactional activities, as you said, to that strategic partner, really collaborating with HR and with business to make sure that all companies can go in the right direction and, again, can attract talent.
Well said, Anne. Today's payroll system generate rich workforce intelligence, right? So what impact has this had on how senior leaders could leverage payroll in decision making?
Oh, definitely is how we can anticipate based on what happened in the past. So the foundation of analytics and predictive analytics is you look at what were the trend of the previous 12 months, or maybe more if you have more historical data, and then to see what are the different criteria that influence that trend. So for example, if we look at terminated people, so the resignation, we could maybe find a way to categorize them based on their seniority, their age, their maybe job family, or maybe their location. We can maybe add additional external criteria to also try to interpret those trends. And based on that trend, we can try to anticipate what could happen in the future. And it's exactly the shift we are trying to do in Opella. Today, we are the basic company where we look at our data, we're doing reporting, Excels and comparison, and maybe some graphs. What we are building right now is really pure analytics that will help to predict the future. So we can anticipate if we hire this kind of category of people based on statistics and past experience, how long they could stay in the company, what they could provide to the company. We can anticipate which talent will be maybe high potential versus which talent will be excellent execution. So it's something that will help with the hiring process, for example, to pick up the right talent in a certain given situation, not only the position, but the situation as well. With this new Gen X, Y, Z, Z, we have so many differences between the way we used to hire and the way we used to feel comfortable at the office, and also what drives us to go to the office. With COVID, we stopped going to the office, and now we are more working from home. But it's not only what the people are expecting, it's also more this working experience, as we were saying. So those analytics help us to predict how an employee could react, where we could be more proactive than reactive. So we shift from just high potential to really workforce management. Instead of just focusing our attention and money to do that are really high performer, or maybe the one that will be the leader of tomorrow, we can really now focus on every single employee of the company. Doesn't matter the size. This is what payroll analytics can bring to decision maker.
Rightly said. Integrations have become the foundation of modern payroll ecosystems. So, what do organizations often underestimate about the importance of a connected payroll stack?
Yeah, all the mess that goes with non-integration. So definitely, I can tell you in Opella, so we are only 10,000 employees, but we have 40 plus countries. And when you look at the size of our company versus the number of countries, you can imagine we have countries with 1,000 plus employees, but we also have countries with one employee. And one employee is not the same interest or business case, if I may say, when we speak about integration, than when we have 1,000 or 10,000. And what often we underestimate is we say, oh, we have only 10 employees or 20 employees. In that case, let's not build an interface, let's just do double entries. And what we are often forgetting is the risk, the human risk of those manual entries and how they will be actually a potential consequence on payroll and potential consequence of the credibility of the company and potential issues with unions. So the underestimation is really about the manual workload and the risk of errors. And just because we want to save money, just because we consider that the small countries does not deserve the same attention that the big countries, we are putting our company at risk. We are putting our reputation at risk. And if we start to have errors and it starts to be known on the market, how can we attract talent to say, hey, guys, trust us. If you join us, we will really recognize your work and you will receive your compensation package and your benefits package. And the reality they see in the press that, no, we were not paying properly our employees. So that's something that sometimes when our IT colleagues or even our decision maker, they try to cut budget by thinking small countries, again, do not deserve the same effort than big countries. For me, that's the error. Because when you don't do any effort for those small countries, at the end of the day, and I see it again in Opella, when you need to have that global picture of the total workforce, as we were explaining earlier, that now we can focus on the full set of employees, not just the high potential, then you are missing those opportunities to get those data from the small countries. So you don't have the complete picture. You have a partial picture. And if I look at Opella, we have about 20 countries where we have less than 100 employees and 20 countries where we have more than 100 employees. So if I'm bypassing those 20 countries that are less than 100 employees, I'm missing half of my countries. So it's not a question of, making some savings here and there by not implementing integration. It's really missing the opportunity to have a full picture of the entire company and making sure that we are addressing the taxes, the local taxes, and the local issues and the local legislation risks just because we want to save 100K here and there.
Wonderful. And that was really lovely to hear from you. I had this quick question, which was employees today always expect, not only today, well, even in the past, we expect transparency, speed, and personalization, right? How are these expectations reshaping the way organizations design payroll process, let's say down the line 2 or 3 years?
I've been asked several times if we could do more often payments. So instead of paying only at the end of the month, maybe we could do systematic advance payment middle of the month, or maybe we could do on-demand payroll. So we know the salary of an employee. Of course, we take the assumption that the employee will still be there at the end of the month. And the question I was asked was, can we do ad hoc payroll? So if an employee immediately needs something to buy a new car, whatever accident of life. And personally, and again, maybe I'm I'm old too much, so I don't believe the real-time payroll can work. At least not yet. The systems are not ready. The mentality is not ready. But what we can definitely improve is real-time request and answer. So I'm an employee today. If I have a question, either I go to HR or I go to a ticketing system or I go to a portal where I can find some information about the policies. But I always have additional questions, for example, on my payslip. Imagine I'm someone from another country, so I'm a foreigner, and I don't understand my payslip. I always need to speak to someone to understand. And often I have to wait. So I'm raising my ticket and then I don't have the immediate answer. So I need to remember the day after that I asked that question to that ticketing system. I'm checking, still no answer. So the day after I'm going, and then the unsatisfaction starts to rise. What we are trying to do, I think, and what is the future of HR/payroll is the real-time answer. Not real-time payroll, not yet. Maybe I'm again too old and I don't see the future. I'm not visionary enough, but for sure, the real-time answer is what we are looking for. So to again propose self-service so people can play with their own payslip. They can click, and you have this information explaining everything. You have today the total compensation sheet, which is often proposed to all our employees so they understand the portion of benefits versus the salary versus the bonus versus the pension versus the taxes they pay. So this is something that now we are transparently offering to employees so they have the full compensation package that they are earning. But what is missing is how can we help them to understand? So I got escalated no later than yesterday about someone not understanding his payslip, and that's a standard legislation in this country, but the guy do not understand. So if we would have like an interactive screen where he could say, okay, this is my payslip, can you help me to understand this and this and this, where it's coming from, then we don't need any more tickets. They don't need any more to waste their time waiting for the answer and getting frustrated not having it. And I'm talking here about a white collar. Imagine you are in a manufacturing site where people maybe do not read the language or maybe do not have access to a computer. They just have their mobile phone to speak with the kids. So they have nothing else than the mobile. Those guys, if they have questions, they need to wait for their break because they work in a manufacturing site. They cannot just say, oh, I have a question, I will go at 9 to the HR office and get the answer. They have to wait for their break. Of course, they will not enjoy the break because they will have to walk to the HR office or to wherever kiosk is available in the plant. So they will waste time to go to raise the question. And again, it's not real-time answer. So they will raise the question and they will go back to their, machine or whatever they are doing. Same situation than the white collar. No answer, no immediate answer means frustration. So they will come the next day and they will lose their second break. And then maybe the next day again, depending on how fast behind the scene the team can answer. So if you could push a kind of intelligence that can answer immediately the question, and I'm not talking only about robo and AI things, but something that can smartly understand the question from the employee and provide the answer right away, that will become a highly satisfied thing for the employee. They will be able just to do it in the bus or in the taxi, or even if they think about something over the weekend, they can check directly online. So for me, the future is definitely to develop this analytics, as we said, and the predictive one, to absorb more and more data. It's also to be able to answer real time to employees. And I think another thing that we see more and more in the market, and again, I can observe it in Opella, we are more and more seeking for benchmark, to compare ourselves with all the companies that we think are best practice. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have to define what means best practice. We're talking about the most efficient in terms of employee ratio or cost or real time. I don't know what means best practice in payroll, to be honest, except payroll errors is 0. But if you look at the decision maker today, the new leaders, they are looking at how the others are doing to take some sense of what could be the next step for their own company. What can we do better? Are we paying correctly our employees? Before it was a secret. Payroll was a secret. Nobody was talking about payroll at the coffee machine or in a meeting. It was something extremely secret and confidential. Now more and more we do benchmark. we ask those big vendors, those big consulting firms, tell me what's the benchmark that you see in all your clients? And we are taking this, again, it costs a lot. Maybe now with AI, we can have it in one click, but we are always trying to compare ourselves with others. And what we are missing is someone with a vision, someone who will say, I don't care about others. I think what brings the employee experience, the well-being at the office is this and this and that. Let's go for it. Last time I saw an interview of someone, I think it was a US company, and the guy was asked, I've learned in the press that you don't have any HR department in your company. Are you sure it will not melt down and you will lose the opportunity to have proper policies and everything? And the guy was saying, what makes the employee staying at the office? It's not only about the company and the vision of the company and the product that they are selling or services. It's also about the relationship with the team and with the managers. So if we completely empower the manager, will that not bring more, happiness to the team or more relationship or closer relationship? Will that not bring more autonomy to the manager? So he will feel comfortable to take decision on promotion or talent development or whatever. Of course, there is a risk. If the manager is not good, definitely we lose everyone. But if you think about it, and I'm sorry, I don't want to kill my job, but it could be an idea that for some kind of company, we trust more the managers. So I have plenty of ideas. I don't want to spend the entire day on that question. But yeah, definitely between the technology and completely shifting the way we used to work today, that is something that will be required in the future.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is compliance. Regulatory change is faster and more frequent than ever, right? So how can organizations build a compliance model that is both globally consistent yet locally responsive?
It's a very fair question. And actually, I think even in my organization, we have this challenge. So we are setting up some policies around data privacy and everything, which is in one hand asking us to be more conservative or be more aware of sensitive data and how we manage sensitive data, we store sensitive data, we archive sensitive data. We are now obliged to put in place, this transparency towards the employee. If someone is asking us, which kind of data do you have about me? Could you please delete because you don't need them? We need to have that flexibility. And at the same time, exactly as you mentioned, we need to remain compliant with local legislation. In some countries, you need to keep your payslip forever. In some countries, you need to keep your payslip for 10 years or 5 years or whatever. And we even have situation, and I remember this in my old experience. It happens to me when I was payroll manager in the past. We had an accident. The employee unfortunately died when he was commuting from his home to the office. And we had to retrieve some information from the system. And it was very painful because we couldn't, of course, get his approval to share this information with third parties. So we had to go through the wife, and it was a whole story. So this kind of very sensitive situation is really secured by local legislation. Same, we had once an investigation by police about a criminal, and we were asked if the employee was at the office 10 years ago on a certain day, on a certain time. So we had, by chance, at this time, we were still having all the archive with us. But imagine if with this new legislation, we say, we don't need any more that information, so we can delete it. And those kind of cases arrive when you need to provide something that you deleted because of the new data privacy policy. So what we are trying to do, and again, with Opella, it's something that we are, flirting with, if I may say. We look at the global guidance, and then we adjust each and every guidance based on the local legislation. And this is only for the data privacy. But then, as you were saying, in terms of legislation, some of our governments are very creative and they like to change legislation at any time. Maybe you noticed I'm French with my accent and my name. And in France, we keep voting new laws, new legislation that, of course, will benefit the employee mainly more than the employer. And each and every year, we have to set up like 50 new rules in the payroll system. So I don't know how, especially when you outsource payroll to vendors, how vendors can bring partnership with the local governments to receive, all the details of this legislation enough in advance so they can set up in the system. Because the problem is not only the change, it's also the time we have to adapt. And in some countries, I remember in Greece recently, we had a change of legislation where we were obliged to clock in, clock out. Same in Spain 1 or 2 years ago. And sometimes you just have 3 or 6 months to adapt. And when you have such short period of time, it can be challenging for the payroll vendors or the payroll integrator or payroll system to adjust and adapt the configuration for all their clients. This is for me the real challenge. It's how can we connect those guys, to be facing all those changes. And again, in some countries, you have also, kind of federations, unions, etc., that could bring additional complexity to the legislation. How can we make sure that we are not on real time, because you always have to, set up and test and everything, but at least in a very short time, align with the new legislation, the new governments? How can we build system that will bring the reassurance that we are flexible enough to adapt whenever there is something happening? And it's exactly the same question, when you have a company that are acquiring other companies or that carve out, because you have to integrate new payroll, new company, new rules in less than 3 months. Same when you carve out, you need to organize that carve out often in less than a year. And it's not an easy thing to do. So the compliance is giving us a frame in which, like a playground, in which we need to stick, but still at the same time we have a business to run. So we need to find a balance between how do we stick to that rules or those rules, and how can we be flexible enough to adjust to the business needs. And this is also what is enjoying in payroll, if I may. You cannot get bored. Every day something is happening. Every day there is something changing here, an issue there, an error there. And this is why I think more and more companies go for outsource model, where they trust a partner who has those connections with local government or with local statutory bodies, so they are aware in advance. That's the case of Neeyamo, if I may say. You guys, you are doing it. You have that newsletter on the compliance, what is changing in which country, and we know we can trust you, as well as some of your competitors, on how can we get compliance updated on time in our payroll system. And when you are in-house, it's another story. You need to make sure that your team is aware of everything, and you have those agreements with the company that are responsible for legal watch. So you have to delegate the legal watch to another company. So it's another story. But that's what makes payroll so exciting, at least for me.
Okay. With advancements like real-time compliance updates and automated shifts, what do you think can be like a shift or a change you foresee in how payroll teams could manage risk?
That's a good question. So it depends what we mean by risks here. I know it's in the context of compliance, exactly. I would like to maybe highlight something else that we didn't discuss, and I think it's something very important nowadays. It's what we call fraud. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a compliance topic, but it's another angle. And with the new technology, with everyone having a computer, with all those AI technology and those engineer knowing more and more how to code things, what I see is we have more and more attempt for fraud, where we are phishing. So we are saying, hey guys, could you please send me my payslip? I lost it. And if we send it and it's not an employee of your company, then you have a risk. Or maybe someone is asking to change the bank account. Or recently in my company, we had someone who received an instruction to change a bank account. Sorry, I was looking for my word. A bank account, and it was a fake employee. But this guy found a way to find the manager name, the manager email, the payroll ID, just to give some context and make the request even more realistic. I even heard, I don't remember which company it was, but someone acting as the CEO saying, hey guys, I would like to have the payroll results of the last 12 months is blah, blah, blah. And if our team in payroll are not trained to, catch up those fraud attempts, to realize that it's a fake request, this is where we lose all the benefit of this legislation and this compliance framework I was talking about before. Because if we don't know how to stop those requests, then what's the point of being compliant with payroll if you have a data breach the day after? And for me, this is what we should really focus on now, making sure that we understand what type of fraud we have. We have several different categories of fraud. In Opella, we have a kind of mandatory training to explain what data are sensitive, how to react in case of fraud. In my payroll team, we have built our own payroll academy, so we train every single new joiner, and we have refresher where we explain them what kind of fraud. We put in place some security questions to make sure that an employee is an employee. It's even worse when the employee has left, and they are asking for additional information from where they were working for Opella. But we are really creating additional barrier, cocoon, if I may say, around the team to make sure that they can recognize real requests versus fake requests. So for me, the biggest risk is fraud. It's not compliance or real-time changes. It's a challenge, but it's not so huge risk for me anymore. I mean, you guys, you have like 20 years plus of experience. The biggest vendor have also this experience. But fraud, we are all at risk. Any good hacker can go in your system and, just copy your data, steal your data, resell them somewhere else. We have seen so many examples with big companies with a data breach where you are informed your IBAN or your personal information have been hacked by a bank or whatever company. And for me, this is the next fight we need to win, is to make sure that our payroll is becoming kind of IT experts. They need to shift from basic data input things or control things, which I hope we will all automate at one point with all those new technology, and to be more into employee experience and fraud prevention.
Okay, very alarming, but a very critical and important point is what you
said. It's happening, so...
Yeah, scary, but I think it's high time we all should be very technically sound, right? Moving on to transformation, Anne, many organizations know they need to modernize payroll or to transform, okay, but don't know where to begin. So what guiding principles should shape a strong transformation roadmap?
To be honest, it really depends on, the vision of the leader. Not all solution will fit all companies. As we were saying earlier, some companies prefer global, some others prefer 100% local, some will prefer this hybrid model. Same with the outsourcing model. So some companies will prefer in-source, some will prefer outsource. So I think the starting point is, what is your vision? What is your need? Do you want to have your in-house expertise because you are complex and there is no way you will change it? Public companies, for example, they will not just big transformation. They will try first to keep it in-house to make sure that they master everything. But other companies say, no, my business is to sell whatever computers. So I don't care about payroll. I want this to be managed by experts, external experts like vendor, like you guys. So you start by your vision, and based on the vision, it will give you the kind of proven methodology on how to transform, depending also on your budget. But let's assume that you want to outsource, which is the most known payroll model, where you outsource payroll. And let's assume you have limited budgets, because with the new world, we need to be careful on how we spend our money. The first thing I will advise is to look at the input, because, sorry for my English, shit in, shit out. Maybe I should say garbage in, garbage out. But what is important is if you are not able to control your payroll inputs, the quality, the real time, who is allowed to provide payroll input, who can confirm that the payroll input is correct, like not too high, not too low, etc., then your payroll will not be correct, accurate. You may pay on time, but it will not be accurate. So first advice, look at the first step of payroll, which is preparation, input, make sure everybody is aware, make sure you automate the data collection, make sure you have controls, make sure you have everything in place real time to feed payroll properly. And once you have done that payroll input and it's under control, then you can look at the controls of payroll itself. So making sure that all the specificities of the local legislation is properly set up in your system, so it's fully automated. Again, either you do it in-house or you rely on vendors that have those controls, but the most important is to make sure we do not forget. I used to have, and it's still the case unfortunately, some controls that are still manual, and when the inputs are arriving late, the team doesn't have time to properly control payroll. And we missed once an employee who has earned 100K too much. Not 1K, 100K euro. So it's not a small error. We should have spotted it. But the payroll expert was spending so much time in preparing input that this person didn't have time to control the payroll results. So step 1, payroll input. Step 2, controls. And if you are into outsourcing model, definitely do a proper RFP, expose your situation, discuss with different vendors, and they will help you to design what would work the best for you based on, as we said, number of employees, number of countries, split between white collar, blue collar, do you have manufacturing sites or not? And they will be able to help you to design that model and to deploy the model. Each company is different. There is no one solution fits all. So we just need to be aware, and hopefully our leaders now know it. There is not one single solution again for all situations. So if you have a good leader, and if that person has a vision, it's easy to partner with and to design the target model with them.
And that was a wonderful piece of information, having a visionary leader to kickstart everything. Lovely, Anne. So looking ahead, what innovations, real-time payroll, let's say global instant payments, like you said, on-wage access, on-demand pay, AI-driven accuracy, do you believe have the greatest potential to redefine the entire payroll industry?
Maybe for some people, but not for all. I guess for the what we call the blue collar, so the one that are really having low salary or very difficult condition of life, it will help them to have this real-time thing. Because once again, if they are facing an unexpected issue with kids, with car, with their own job, the partner jobs or whatever, with doctors, with health, it can definitely help them to be more flexible and to not have to wait the end of the week or the end of the month to be paid. So that population will definitely benefit from any real-time thing we can implement. But when you look at stabilized white collars population, I'm not yet convinced. I don't want to say no. I don't have the crystal ball for the future. But I'm not sure it will fit with everyone. Same than for the compliance, same than for the global versus local. There is not one solution that fits all. Depending on the type of people, the generation of that population, their skills, their competencies, the type of job they do, is it a manual job or is it a computer job? It's not the same need. So I will not say that there is one future for payroll. I think there is, like the multiverse. We are in the Marvel movie. Payroll is a multiverse. We need to adapt to the situation. And I think the most important future for payroll is flexibility. It's not to have one good trend. Of course, we are benefiting from all those changes. So computer first, so printers, then computer, then AI. So we are following the same trend as all the other functions like finance and everything. But rather than having one direction, I would prefer myself to feel that I can opt in or opt out any options that are available on the markets or that guys like you can invent to make our life easier. And in an ideal world, I should be able to approve payroll from Hawaii, so I don't need to go to the office and I can do it. This flexibility is, I think, what will help the most our new generation to stay and to stay engaged with the company. We see more and more people jumping from one company to another just because they will earn $1 more in the second floor versus the third floor. And the retention of those talents is more and more critical, for the knowledge and for the expertise. Again, not yet convinced that real time is the solution for everything. Flexibility. We should be able to say, oh, we want you live 2 hours for the office. Okay, do it from home. Oh, you are next to the office. You want to go 5 times a day to the office. 5 times a week to the office. Go to the office. You want real-time payroll, or you want monthly payroll, or you want an advance, or you want this, or your bonus, instead of being paid once a year, you want it 12, settlement of 12 months, etc., etc. Today, each time I receive a request, we categorize it as exception. In my dream, there is only exception. We can adjust without painful processes to almost all type of employees. And that, for me, is the future, more than real-time things. Flexibility. How to adjust to you versus to me. Adaptability, yes.
Adaptability and flexibility. That was very interesting about earned wage access, Anne. My last question for you is, if we imagine payroll 3 to 5 years from now, what does a truly borderless and intelligent payroll ecosystem look like to you?
Okay, we spoke about integration. Definitely the dream, I think, for all companies is to have end-to-end integration. So once you do something in one system, it's automatically taken into account in one payroll. I don't know if I will be very popular for it, but payroll should be fully automated. There is no reason why we should have a bunch of 10 people looking at payroll. Of course, we will always have the what we call time management specificities, like I work overtime, I don't want to be paid, I want to take time off in year, I was late 1 minute, but please don't deduct my payroll, I have issue with my wife, could you please help me to pay this, etc., etc. So we will always have those challenges with employees that need specific attention. But the whole payroll process should be fully automated. We enter you as a new hire in a company, poof, you are paid without any human intervention. We should trust the system and vendors like you to set up the compliance framework, the controls and everything, and to provide the pay slips and the bank payment without any issue. Today, we are a big company at Opella, we are brand new, but we still have people who enter the bank account with errors. And garbage in, garbage out, as we said, I have regularly in my email escalation about people not being paid. And when we look at the reason and the root cause, it's because they didn't enter the bank account correctly. And this would be the dream, to have more connection with statutory bodies, government, banks, so there is no errors anymore. So not multiverse here, all in one universe, but really exactly as you mentioned, that landscape where everything can be automated, because we are partnering with statutory bodies. Again, another example of our friends. We used to send like 5 or 6 different payroll results to the pension, social security, the insurance, the unemployment agency, etc. Now we send one file to one portal, and all those different statutory bodies come and pick up what they need. And this is exactly where not exactly, but this is where we should try to go, is where everybody is contributing to this seamless experience. Again, We receive input directly, maybe from the bank, so we don't have those guys giving you the paper or making mistakes when they are typing it. So between the capital letter of the I and the L, it's the often one, and then the O versus a 0, again, often this error. Where you enter, you are hired, and 100% you will be paid exactly as you should be paid. So we release the stress of people. And I'm saying stress, I'm not stressed myself, but I know people that are stressed to receive their payment at the end of the month or end of the week. So they can focus on the day-to-day activities. They can sell product if their job is to sell. They can manufacture product if their job is to manufacture. So in an ideal dream, we should have payroll clerks only to help people, to answer them in their day-to-day issues. So we spend more time on the well-being than on the data. Voilà, okay. This is my future.
Well, just out of curiosity, Anne, like as you said, payroll has to be fully automated, like down the line for the future. But I had this recently, I had this opportunity to travel to Australia to attend TAP's conference, where I had conversed with a lot of people, a lot of customers about Neeyamo-based Australia. Do you think people would also like to have that pinch of control over their payroll system rather than, imagine a payroll system that's fully automated? What's your take on that? And if people would want... Yeah?
Yeah, finish your question.
If people would want a certain level of control over the payroll software, what is that control, and do you see this as an opportunity, or what's your take on it?
Very easy answer: change management. It's just change of mindset. So remember when the first computer were there, they were super huge, and we were a bit scared, to connect to the computer because we prefer paper. And then internet arrived. And we were scared because we thought people will be able to have access to our computer and steal our information. And then we went with AI. How long did it take to AI to become so easily accessible, where everybody can ask questions to ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever? So the automatic payroll, it's a change of mindset. It's just a step in our evolution. So yes, today they are scared. Yes, today they are wondering, can this work? We are coming from a world where payroll accuracy is the first battle. It's the goal of every HR director, because we want to make sure that people do not care about payroll. They just do their job. They don't have anything else to think about. And it's not happening. I mean, I don't know any companies where the payroll accuracy is 100%. I mean, globally, for small companies, probably, but for big companies, you always have something which is not going well. Either you have a late input, or the employee make mistakes, or the manager make mistakes, or HR makes mistakes, or payroll make mistakes, or vendor make mistakes. It can always happen. So change management or change of mindset is just a normal trend when something new is popping up. Again, coming back to my French example with that one report for all the statutory bodies, we were all scared when it happened. Same when you go from a paper payslip to an e-payslip. The first reaction is, it will not work. How can I make sure that my payslip is not accessible to anyone else? How can I make sure that I will be the one receiving my payslip and no one can steal my personal information? The policy of, I think it was Instagram and Facebook changed recently, where they start to say, we will take whatever you post and it will become public. It's a change of mindset. A lot of people are scared with transparency due to the data thing, because it can be used by unfortunate bad people that will steal your data and do fake videos or whatever. So, which I understand. But here we are just talking about real time and control. We are not talking about sharing sensitive data. It's just legislation has the frame. The system is the mean. So why should we have a human overlooking on what a system can do? Of course, ChatGPT and all AI, we need control on this, because it can answer correctly or incorrectly based on how the system was fed by internet or blog or whatever. But here we are talking about a machine, like a robot, that will just do calculation and check if it's correct or not. So yes, we will always be scared at the beginning when a new features or a big transformation is coming. But that's the normal process to evolve to the new world of payroll 2.0, if I may say. Even me, you asked me for the real time, my first reaction was like, let me think, maybe, I'm not sure. And once, you see others having the courage to do that transformation and you can witness that it's working, maybe, why not me? So that's normal process. I will not be scared. When I bought Neeyamo in Opella, the first reaction was, are you sure? And now, you are one of our best vendors. So definitely, any change is scary at the beginning. And at one point, when we see it's working, when we see there is no risk, of course we have risk everywhere, but not huge risk, it will be easy to transform. Remember when Amazon created those centers where you have a robot that picks up the product for you, so you don't have any more guys running that little truck picking up the product, and they have this automated packaging thing. It was a brand new revolution. And we always say, it will not work, and it's working. When McDonald's or all the supermarkets, they introduce this camera that can look at what you put in your bag. So when you pay, it's automatic, so you don't have to pay with a credit card. It's reading your bag, and you can just go outside of the supermarket. We said, it will not working. People will steal things. But no, it's working. Okay, we may not like it, but it's working. You will always have people that will abuse the system and that will try to steal things. But if we start to stop ourselves due to that 10%, maybe 5% of people that just want to abuse the system, you will not progress. And this is not what we want for the world. We want to progress. We need to take care of the future. We need to take care of our kids and environment. Being scared is the first step of the change. It's just a question of demonstrating, finding the one that will have the vision. Remember what we were saying earlier? You need to have a leader with a vision. This guy will bring it. Elon Musk, maybe not the best leader, but he has a vision. And he was the one bringing, some technologies that never before we had. So we are always scared by the change.
Okay. Let's make fully automated payroll system the new normal then. Perfect. It was lovely talking to you, Anne. I think we should do this often because you have great points on earned wage access, on compliance, and even on technology. And I'm very sure you're very curious to know about Neeyamo's Arya as well. So,
yes.
So in case if you're free next week or maybe sometime after Christmas next year, then probably we could have a virtual podcast again and talk about this more. Yeah?
With pleasure. Thank you so much, Nancy, for welcoming me again. Thank you for a very interesting question and discussion. I really appreciate it. And let me know whenever I can help you again.
Yeah, sure. Lovely, Anne. Yeah, I'll email you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning into the Payroll Powerlist by Neeyamo, where the people, ideas, and innovation take center stage. And it's been a pleasure guiding today's conversation. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to follow, share, and join us again until we continue exploring the future of payroll one leader at a time. Until next time, this is Nancy signing off.